let's hear from the coach. This is Behind the Beard with Bobby Smirniotis, Forge FC head coach and sporting director. Now, the woman who takes us there, here's Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
Week 7 of Behind the Beard. Welcome back to another episode, joined by head coach and sporting director, Coach Bobby Smirniotis. This morning, you had an audience at practice, a couple kids on a field trip. How important do you think it is for kids to come see this caliber of soccer at a local level?
Yeah, I think beyond the football itself, it's a great experience for the kids just to be out. You know, it's towards the end of the year. There's a lot of excitement, you know, coming into the summer break, and you always want to do something different with the classes of young kids. So it's great for us to see them out there and just hear some noise in the stands as we're training, and know that we're a positive influence on them. And you see that when the players are coming off the field and all the excitement that they have. And I think that's what it is to be a kid. You want to have different experiences, and I think it's a great experience for young children coming out here to Tim Hortons Field.
What can you say about the importance of having that community relationship? Do you find that there is a difference in terms of a team that has a connection with a community versus a team that doesn't?
Yeah, I think it's massive. You have to have your footprint in the community. You know, that's in the end of the day what we're doing. You know, we're a part of the community, not only right around Tim Hortons Field, but all of Hamilton and the greater region around Hamilton. You see that with our excellent crowds at Tim Hortons Field, the energy that they bring to the pitch, and then just having different groups like this one just show up, on a weekly basis. It also, I think, really resonates with our players, knowing that we're playing this beautiful game, but there's a group of people out there that are constantly watching us, that are looking up to us, that are looking up to these players. And I think that's the great component of when you try and build a culture, because I think that's the beauty of football. Although it's a sport, it's usually something that becomes part of a person's lifestyle when they're not an athlete, when they're not a player. And I think that's what we want to build over time.
Yeah. Now that these kids have the opportunity to come watch you guys come out to practice, do you think that experience can be attributed to the CPL? Because before this, not only were players not really given a ton of opportunity for professional soccer in Canada, but from a youth perspective, now they can come out and watch.
As young players, young athletes, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing, you need local heroes. That's the most important thing. You know, football, soccer is a global game, so it's easy. As I asked some of the kids today, who's your favorite player? You hear Ronaldo and Messi, but you also hear Becker, right? And I think that's the most important thing, because it's great to watch players and see players online or watching them play on TV, but it's a different thing when you have that feeling up close with a player. And that's the beauty of our game. That's the beauty of what we have in our community. It's that these young kids who are enthusiastic about the game, young boys, young girls, they really have somebody that they can see in live person, not only perform, but come out and watch them in training, shake their hand, get an autograph, exchange a couple of words. And, that we see each and every week through little community events like this, but also in our, in what we do after each and every home game with families on the pitch and all of what's going on. I think that's a fantastic thing that the club does, and it's allows our players to know that, our supporters and the greater community cares about this team.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you feel like from a player perspective, it kind of allows them to know in person, okay, I'm making an impact?
100%. Players love to play, players love to win, but they love the energy of the crowd. Yeah. They love the energy that supporters, casuals, everyone gives them. And that's one thing we see not only in our games, but like I say, in that period of families on the pitch when our players are signing autographs, and it's absolutely mayhem
to say the least. Yeah, I mean, one of them asked for my autograph this morning, and it changed my life.
There you go.
Okay.
Just make sure you keep on signing away.
So I was like, who's next?
Contracts there.
Who's next? For me, that was a day-making thing, and it was just one quick thing. So I would imagine from a player standpoint that it makes all the difference, even at training. Do you remember ever having those experiences watching soccer or at a local level where you kind of decided maybe you wanted to play or you wanted to coach?
Yeah, of course. But the thing was, when I was growing up in Toronto, down in the East York area, there wasn't really professional soccer.
Yeah.
Once in a while, we get a national team game or a foreign club coming in that we'd get to see. But really what you looked up to was the older players in your club. So really, as a young kid, I can remember myself wanting to go out on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock in the summer to watch the 20-year-olds of East York Soccer Club play, because I thought they were it.
Yeah.
they were the top level. But that's what I always say. It's you always need something that you can see, that you can feel, you can get that great feeling from, and say, I want to be that person in my community going forward. I think that's the first touch point, because it's easy to say I want to be Ronaldo, I want to be Messi, but I think when you're able to feel that environment, and it doesn't matter what that environment is, for young players, it's senior football. In Canada, across the province here in Ontario, I mean, there's been great strides with that, not only in the CPL, not only in our national team, but you look at things like League One Ontario and the expansion of that through Canada. I think that's going to continue to drive the motivation of young players across the country, the same way it's happened for decades and 100 years in hockey, which has been so successful. Kids, always have a mechanism to look forward, whether that's through the CHL, OHL and so on, and up to the NHL itself.
Yeah, I feel like I also experienced that playing, particularly as a kid, going to the women's national team and getting to see them in person. And at one point, I think my team was on the field holding one of the banners, and it was game-changing for me. And I think in particular, this year, there's been a huge momentum shift in women's professional soccer. And I want to get your opinion on this, because I think it was this past April they announced that there's going to be a domestic women's professional league. What have you, from your experience as a coach and just in the sport in general, seen from the evolution of women's soccer?
First, I'll touch on what you said and about your experience going out to see a women's national team game. Imagine you can do that each and every week.
Yeah.
For a league game. I think that would be fantastic for the growth of the game and what is going on, because, again, that's what we need for the next part of the evolution and the development of the game. And of course, every strong soccer nation, and when we look at the women's national team, they've been a success, not just now, but for the last decade and beyond. We need to make sure that this keeps on happening, that it's not happening by chance or by luck or by a group of players and a generation of players, that it keeps on occurring. And for that to keep on occurring, you need to make sure that the structures are there, through the League One Canadas and the women's side up to professional football. And I think that's the missing link that sooner or later, I believe it will be here.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there's also a club for the women's league coming to Toronto, so that'll be cool too.
I think the toughest thing is sometimes people like to separate them and talk about them in a different context. But in the end of the day, sports is about entertainment. And when you watch the women's national team, when you're watching the World Cup, different tournaments, the Olympics, and so on, I'm pretty sure it's entertaining. So it's the same thing. It's bringing the entertainment value out and that excitement, and that in the end draws the crowds. And I think that's exactly what will happen once a women's league gets going.
Yeah.
I think they'll bring the excitement to the field, and I think it'll kick off from there. Maybe it takes time, a little different than the CPL. Not everything happens in one day. And there's, a lot of lessons to be taken from there. But I think in the same trajectory that the CPL is growing, that a women's league will grow in this country as well.
Yeah, I 100%. It's a challenge. I'm looking forward to, seeing where it goes. But thank you for giving me your insight on that.
Perfect.
What's next on the agenda today?
Not a whole lot.
Booking flights for Friday.
Some video work inside.
This has been Behind the Beard with Mackenzie Barwell and Bobby Smirniotis. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.